Welcome to WKRP Montrose, a radio station masquerading as a podcast about Montrose, Colorado, and the Western Slope. Recording live from the Clear Network studio.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of WKRP Montros. We've got some guests on the couch that you cannot see yet, and I'm going to keep them muted for a second because...
Can we just double check that this is recording?
It's recording. Yeah.
We've had an incident today, that's all.
Yeah. Why do you got to bring it up? We didn't have the incident just now, so why do you got to bring it up? They would have never known until you just said something.
I don't care what they think.
Who's
I
they?
don't want to go through 20 minutes of this and then have to start again.
That's what. Listen, if this episode is late and people are behind schedule, it may have been because where were you at?
I was getting beer from Pomona.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you tell people?
Don't want beer?
Why don't you tell people about the beer?
It's the Irish Blonde.
Irish
And
Blonde.
I'm sure it's going to be very delicious.
Yeah. Is this your moment?
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah. Oh, did you shake it up?
That was such a disappointing sound.
Yeah.
Let's try that again.
All right. Here we go. This moment in ASMR brought to you by Pomona Brewing.
That's a pour.
Is it though?
Yes.
Is it?
Alex, would you like me to explain for the 10th time why?
No, I don't want you to explain why. And I don't think anybody.
They don't seem.
You
You
don't
don't
get
appreciate it either.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. You're gonna announce our guests. I'm going to cut to them.
I don't know these guys.
Yes, you do. This is going to be my fun part. So now you're visible and audible.
Look.
That's not a perfect pour.
This is a terrible pour.
Watch. So the point is, you don't want that carbon dioxide in your stomach.
You don't want
pour
all
it
the
like
bubbles.
that, it releases some of the carbon dioxide.
I know why you justify the fact.
You don't know.
But I feel like your science is off.
That's how it
Can
works.
you introduce your guests?
Nick and Tyler. Good Lord.
Yeah, but why are Nick and Tyler on the
honestly
really
don't-
nice couch?
I don't know. Honestly, it was probably one night. I think I'd had a few beers. Tyler was talking the talk about how he could handle it, and he's not going to be phased by the microphone or the
Now
camera.
we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. So Tyler and Nick are here ostensibly because of Mutt and COPMOBA,
Yeah.
but
Or just to call you out on your
Yeah.
nonsense that you're out there spewing, telling people that they can't. So Tyler, let's start. Nick, we'll get to you.
Hang on.
I know.
We'll start with Tyler, but before we get to the Mutt stuff, I want to ask Tyler just a personal question.
Oh, okay, go right ahead.
What's it like to be a Disney adult?
You would have to ask my wife. Maybe you can have her on the podcast.
Yeah, no, because she'll come dressed as Minnie Mouse and talk about Disney the whole time.
He feels like that's an insulting thing.
What's it
until
like-
he finds out that there's so many adults that go to Disney on a regular basis.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do a lot of stuff. That doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
Are you in that camp?
So
Oh, I'll definitely I'll go to Disney World all day.
Have you been to Disney World?
You know what? I have not been in probably about 5 or 6 years.
People think he's a character. Mr.
Well, that's true.
Mr.
That's
Potato
true.
Head from Toy
That's
Story.
true. That is
Toy Story
true.
is my favorite childhood movie.
I mean, I could definitely be Mr.
series.
Potato. But no, I haven't been back since they've got like all the Star Wars stuff, and now they've got the Avatar stuff, right? Like the Avatar world, or the Avatar world is coming.
The Avatar world is very cool.
Is it? So it is
The
there.
ride is, yeah, it's
So you are
the technology.
You might be a
it's-
Disney
so you
adult.
are a Disney
that
adult.
was definitely the best ride there.
You're just not an old school Disney dressed like Mickey Mouse type adult, but you're a Disney adult. It's okay.
Rob, I could see
that's
you.
where we're going.
I could see you. I could see you doing cosplay. So I don't think you should like. I don't think you should be like judging anybody else.
Have we met?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do cosplay every day. We all know that the British accent is fake.
Well, today I'm cosplaying as somebody who really loves Clear Networks.
There you go.
I don't think that was a ringing endorsement for Clear Networks, so let me do one. Clear Networks, where you can watch all the cosplay videos that you want.
You can stream your favorite Disney movies.
Yes, there you go. Have you seen Moana 2 yet? It was pretty good.
No.
No.
All right. Where are you going?
Service.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so can we get to the serious stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What serious stuff? When are we ever
Yeah.
doing anything really serious?
Well, okay. So, Tyler, tell us who you are, where you're from,
Yeah, so my name's Tyler
What are your
Smith.
hopes and dreams?
It's far too light for those.
All right.
I grew up in Northeast Ohio, but I've been kind of bouncing around Colorado and Utah the last 15 years, and I'm here today. I'm currently the chair for Montrose Uncompahgre Trails, which is a chapter of the Colorado Plateau Mountain Bike Trail Association.
Awesome. And the interesting thing you told me earlier was, when did you move here?
So I moved here September 2020, right in the middle of COVID. My wife took a job at the hospital in Delta, and I convinced my boss to let me work remote, and we moved from Salt Lake to Montrose.
Okay.
So I'm assuming your wife works on like the pediatrics board, dressed up as Disney characters.
No, she just changed jobs, and now she works with adults. She had her first day at her new job today.
Does she work at this psych ward with Disney adults?
No. That would be a violation of HIPAA if I told you that.
Yeah.
So it's
By the way,
possible.
970-316-3162, or comment down in the video if you think Rob is borderline like deserving some feedback. I think it's
Yeah, I actually didn't know this podcast is about my wife, or I would have just brought her.
Yeah. Why,
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Let her defend herself.
No, we'll bring her
Don't
on.
talk about people that aren't here. Come on now.
Hillary's more than capable of defending
I'm sure she is.
herself.
All right. So
So you might be the first person from Ohio we've had on.
that might be true,
Yeah.
but Ohio by way of Salt Lake, right?
And before that, I went to college in Gunnison at Western.
Oh, okay. We just had
Second person on today.
today. Yeah.
Shocker,
Now,
we do these whenever we want to. Not
little behind
one
the
at a time.
scenes nod there. Not that you care. All right. So you were in Gunnison, and then you left to go to Salt Lake,
Yeah.
and then what brought you back here? Oh, your wife's job.
Yeah, we were ready to make a change. I probably never would have moved to Salt Lake on my own, and after being there for 6 years, still was not a city person. And we'd been talking about somewhere on the Western Slope for a while, and yeah, the opportunity was there for a job for her. She's an occupational therapist, so yeah, there's not a ton of jobs available, so we took the leap.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. Must have been tough to move to. How did you said you only had one person that you knew here
Yeah, so
before you came.
my best friend from college in Gunnison, he was the best man at my wedding. He had moved here about 6 months before I did.
But you went to school in Western, so you had to have known some people that were from Montrose. I mean, we're basically a feeder for Western as well.
I honestly don't know if I knew anybody from Montrose.
Oh, really?
In college.
All right.
And is he still here?
He
That's
is,
the
yeah.
best man.
I know I'm not asking questions on this podcast. I'm, the guest. But
Sounds like you might be leaning into it a little bit.
sorry, but I mean, what was the impression of Montrose when you were at Western?
So, 10, 15 years ago, I was not thinking about moving to Montrose. I think it was first on my radar. It's a couple years after I moved to Salt Lake. I was somewhere and I saw like an advertisement for Montrose or something. And I looked on Zillow and I was like, houses in Montrose are cheap. And I should have bought a house right then.
Yeah, that was definitely a while ago.
But my impression of Montrose was I drove the bypass a lot because I had family in Salt Lake at that time. So I'd drive through Montrose a lot. And
So you
pretty
only
much
got
never
that
come
view?
to the part of Montrose,
Okay.
that I spend all my time in.
How many people do you think that's their impression of Montrose? Either 50 going just Townsend, I guess, basically, or doing the bypass.
Well, the thing is, now we all hope that they do bypass it, right? We all have that.
Now everybody wants to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a gatekeeper at all.
So is that your new proposal? Is like, let's junk up the bypass, make it look like as unattractive as possible?
That's the problem. Is we're all of us, right, are from other places.
Yes.
And I love the diversity we have here.
Yeah, keep it coming.
And I don't want that to stop just for the sake of house prices. So I'm an advocate of people coming here and moving here for sure.
Especially the ones you like. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Let's
Very welcoming.
from one kind of, dare I say, boring state to another.
Thank you.
Nick, where are you from?
I'm from rural Iowa. I grew up in a town of about 8,500 people in corn country, middle of the state. My family is actually from a couple different places, but primarily western Montana. And so I spent a lot of time in the mountains as a kid and sort of knew that as soon as I finished up college, I was in college in Minnesota, I wanted to move west to somewhere that had some topographic diversity. to ski and bike and trail run. And so I was looking for jobs and found one in Montrose and moved out here sight unseen immediately after graduating college in 2022.
So
And here I am.
Yep.
Nick, there's a ongoing like stories that I feel that I hear about you of being that kind of like throw it to the wind, take any type of chances, ski terrain that I may not be, know very well, take rock jumps that I'm not sure I can land.
I don't know.
Nobody.
Just in case my mom watches this, I'm really pretty safe.
You're pretty safe in the general.
It's mostly the company I keep.
Yeah,
that
who would
puts
put
me
you in
into
those situations?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
there's the third musketeer in this scenario who often takes those same risks too,
Yeah.
right?
Have to get him on here too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our favorite Jewish gentleman
Which would be
is our friend Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Brett's also an extreme sportsman. That's really what it is, though, right? It comes down to, we talk about risks, and there's always risk and reward, but you are into some pretty extreme stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be unsafe.
Yeah.
But you do ski and bike the trails and things that, well, sometimes not the trails, right?
You're painting me out to be like a Red Bull athlete, which I am not.
It's all
Yeah, you're
relative.
the one that skis sketchy things.
But it is all relative.
Yeah.
It is all relative, right? To the average person.
Sure.
Going backcountry skiing is significantly more.
no, thank you.
Well, yeah, exactly, right.
Give me some groomers. I'm good to
It is
go.
more dangerous,
Yeah.
but it's also, I guess, more exciting, right?
Yeah, I think that those are the stories you hear about from people like Tyler and I, but also I think we're to bring us full circle here to the topic of the podcast while we're here. We're spending a lot of our time on our backyard trails and doing slightly more relaxed activities as well.
That was pretty slick.
Yeah.
That was a good segue.
good.
Is what you're saying?
It was
keeping you on track.
It was barely a segue.
It was
And we
barely a
really-
segue.
6 p.m.
It was
We
so
really
slick.
do have trails in Montrose for everybody.
Well, tell us about them, because I love Buzzard is great. Obviously, the rat trails down in Ridgeway and places in Junction. But what's going on in our backyard?
Yeah, so first I'll just do a quick plug kind of for COPMOBA in general. So like I mentioned, Colorado Plateau Mountain Bike Trail Association. Our 4 chapters are Grand Valley, so Grand Junction, Delta, Montrose, and Ridgeway. So we do cover, the whole, what most people would refer to as the Western Slope. But yeah, here in Montrose, like you said, we've got Buzzard Gulch, Electric Hills. Those are kind of the 2 main non-motorized trail systems. And then, a lot of the motorized trail around here, Peach Valley, the stuff up on the Uncompahgre Plateau, the whole Encolada is also really good for mountain bikes.
Yeah. People come from around the region, at least, right, to come to where we live. It's something I come back to a lot, actually, that people visit this place. They spend their money to come and visit us and do the things that we can do whenever we want. It's a pretty special place.
Yeah, we have it in our backyard, is what you're saying. Do we
Yeah.
take it for granted? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Some people do. I know they don't.
Right.
I do to a certain degree. You definitely do.
Oh, I definitely do.
When was
Yeah.
the last time you got on a bike?
Well, that's different. Like, I've gotten on a bike recently. I have a nice road bike that I don't ride anymore.
The idea of you on a road bike makes me want to laugh and weep at the same time.
Why is that?
If only you could
I
see
would
what's in my
smoke
head.
you. I would smoke
When's the
you
last
on a
time
road
you rode
bike.
a bike, Rob?
Yeah, when's the last time you rode?
I'm going to defend Rob here. He's actually not a terrible mountain biker.
I'll take it.
I didn't say mountain bike.
Do
I
you
said
know what?
road bike.
Actually,
you were
so
making
road
fun of
bike.
me.
Sorry.
I'm going to flip that back on Nick. I have great respect for both of you and the stuff that you do. I remember Nick gave me a compliment once, and it was something along the lines of, "You're actually picking out a pretty good trail." That's it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
line is what I would
Line.
say.
Yeah, line.
Exactly.
See, I knew that, but I was about to. I wish you would have let me correct him because he would.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll
All
take
right.
it. You want to go on a road?
You picked a
you
good-
want to have a race on a road bike?
On a road bike, sure.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to big myself up here a second. I've done Ride the Rockies 3 times.
Okay.
You really want to go down that road with me, friend?
Okay, Mr. Ride the Rockies. I've done the
Honestly,
I've
let's
done the
have
mountains
it.
to desert.
WKRP, some kind of sponsored
Yeah.
race to the Black Canyon, something like that.
Okay, well, I'm not a great hill climber, so that'll be
Oh,
tough.
okay. So you want to go downhill?
I don't necessarily want to go downhill.
All right, let's get back to them.
All right.
You know what I will say is we are primarily a mountain bike trail organization, but most mountain bike trails by definition are multi-use. And, especially here in Montrose at Buzzard Gulch, hiking, trail running, dog walking, the trails really are for everybody.
Okay.
You don't have to be
About that then.
double black mountain biker.
Talk about right of way and that kind of stuff. Like
Etiquette.
if you come tearing down some of those trails at Buzzard, and people can in theory be walking their dog up. They're not one-way trails, right?
Yeah, so
Go for it.
correct.
Because you have to be safe.
Yeah,
you
so there's
fun,
a universal triangle of etiquette involving. This would be great if we could pull up a visual right now.
Yeah.
I
Do we
sure
have
don't
this
have that
posted at
technology.
Buzzard? Is this up anywhere?
It's probably on the trail map signs. I'm not super familiar with all the context.
Okay.
The Bureau of Land Management, BLM, does those signs. But there's a universal trail etiquette. So you have hikers, equestrians, mountain bikers. Basically, mountain bikers yield to everybody. Also, downhill traffic yields to uphill traffic. So if you're going downhill on a mountain bike, you're yielding to everybody. With that being said, right, you just said, nothing's perfect. Blind corner.
Right.
Naturally, the mountain biker's going faster. It's going to take longer to stop. What we have done as an organization is the last 2 summers, we have done trail maintenance out there specifically to address line of sight. So all that pinyon juniper, we've put in probably at least 50 to 100 man hours, just trimming that back around those turns so you can see better, as well as just education, right?
Right. Because, I mean, if you're, let's say his size, right, and you're on a mountain bike barreling down one of those trails, I mean, I don't want to be dramatic, but you could kill somebody. But, I mean, it's tough, right? Because you want to go mountain biking. I mean, are there a lot of incidents out there? I don't think there are. I don't hear about too many, but...
You hear about it once in a while. I mean, I think it's also self-selecting.
Right.
Like, the people that are looking to go fast on mountain bikes downhill. I mean, number one, most of those people are probably spending a lot of time in the bike park at Telluride, at Crested Butte, where they're downhill mountain bike only.
But I guess
They're probably not going to Buzzard Gulch.
Right, but I guess the idea is we all need to be cognizant, right? Whether you're walking the dog, hiking, or biking, it's a community thing, right? We all have to be aware that you can, in theory, be correct if you are hiking up a trail, but you know that there's the possibility of somebody coming on a bike too.
Correct.
So it's not, you can be right, but you also got to be aware. It's self-preservation too, right?
Nobody cares about your Strava time. Maybe Nick
Some
does.
people.
Well, we can relate
some
this.
people care about
We can
Strava.
relate this to pedestrian traffic in Montrose. You've got the right of way to get out and walk
Yeah.
into the crosswalk.
Oh, yeah.
You might get hit by a car.
Oh, I'm absolutely. That's the way I'm going to depart this earth, because I know that is my right.
Yeah.
I will walk out knowing that the vehicle should stop. I
have-
will almost certainly be killed by a car in Montrose.
Yeah.
So
That's how it ends for me.
So this is a hot button topic in the industry, and there are ways you can design trails, number one,
Right.
to be more friendly. Like I said, line of sight is the biggest thing. Another thing, directional trails, they're really catching on in some places. We don't have much for directional trail around here currently, just because, when you're building a directional trail, kind of by default, you're restricting access. So when you're building a multi-use, like a loop system, like Electric Hills or Buzzard Gulch, directional trails aren't always appropriate. But what we do in a lot of places, like you'll see it at Electric Hills, most of the faster downhills, the Carson Knight, the post at the bottom with the trail marking might say, more fun the other way, or
Right.
ride it the other way.
And the nice
gotta
thing
think
about,
out there.
being on trails and on public lands in general here is that, we're not the front range. I think we all enjoy the fact that there are just fewer people out there
Right.
here, which plays a big role in just, not hearing about this trail conflict instance.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
my home trails in Salt Lake City were on Trail Forks. Like, it was like the 3rd or 4th busiest trail system in the country. They have moved to basically anything you're going to go fast on is directional because there's that many people.
Right.
And even then, somebody's going slow.
Yeah, somebody-
somebody
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
read.
Yep.
can't read.
You
Yeah.
would.
The problems we didn't
Science
know
would
we
say,
had in
do not
Montrose.
hike this trail with skull and crossbones. Do not stop some people.
Right. Well, and you can also be selective about when you go on these trails, right? I mean, you can go out to Buzzard Gulch sometimes and not see other people. Like, it really is the difference between Buzzard Gulch and some of those trails you talked about in Salt Lake. You cannot see people the whole time.
Yeah, if you go to Electric Hills and there's no other cars in the parking lot,
Yeah.
you know, it's probably pretty safe. If you go on a Saturday at 10 a.m.,
Well, so I mean, that's some good advice then? When, especially if you want to get into mountain biking, when is it good to go to these trail systems? Weekends in the summer are going to be busy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think weekday, middle of the day, if you can get out of work for, you know, a lunch ride, if you're learning to mountain bike, that's an awesome time to not be having to navigate other users on the trails. What you're going to find is that Buzzard Gulch is the only, you know, real dedicated single track system, non-motorized single track system in Montrose that is open in the winter. It doesn't have a seasonal wildlife closure, which Electric Hills does have. So it's going to be busier in the winter. And if you're riding Buzzard Gulch in the summer, probably a lot of the mountain bikers are actually going to be heading over to Electric Hills.
When does that open back? Is it open now, Electric Hills?
Not
April
yet.
15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that a big day? Is there something going on that day?
The day of, I think it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, probably nothing the day of, but that weekend we might put up like our tent and trailer out there and, you know, just kind of meet with people. The bigger thing is trail maintenance. You know, we also can't go out there in the winter, so we kind of don't know what's going on there right now. There's the wildlife closure is because of primarily big game, and there are deer and elk out there, and they use the trails because they're smart and they navigate. So we don't know what kind of trail damage will be out there. So we're going to assess that first week. And then April 23rd is our first maintenance night of the year.
So you can't, but just to be clear though, you can't even go out there to assess the trails during the closure?
Yep.
Wow.
Everybody's got to respect it.
Yeah.
It's for the wildlife.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, it's very important,
And it's,
actually, I think. But
this is your world. There's studies that, you know, restricting access to that land in winter does make a difference for the health of the animals.
Yeah, I mean, I was out at Dry Creek last night going for a trail run, and there were 100+ deer in a big herd, and that's just north of Electric Hills. Right. So they were headed down to Electric Hills as soon as they saw me. So, you know, it's important to respect those trail closures.
yeah.
And I do my last thing, and then we should move on from talking about busy trails and user conflict. I think it's important to remember we're looking at this like with the Montrose eye. Like it'd be the same thing about like, oh my gosh, there's so many tourists at the South City Market.
Yeah.
And then somebody from Telluride's like, there's no tourists here.
Right.
Like our trails are just not that busy.
But somebody from Telluride is a tourist. If they're in South City Market, you're a tourist.
Yeah, but
You want the real
I'll give you a better
Don't tell
example.
them that.
You want the real Montrose experience, you come to the downtown city.
No, you want tourists, go to the city market in Gunnison in the summer. You can't get a parking space. They're out of ice. Then you come back to Montrose, like it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Dude, I always think about people saying the traffic that we have here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what traffic? What are you talking about? And they'll be like, oh my God, it takes forever now to get from one end of Townsend to the next. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like 8 minutes instead of 5 minutes? Like, it's not traffic.
I mean, it's all relative, right?
Right. Well, that's true.
I'm pretty sure when I got here, when you got here, when, you know, there was no traffic almost. It's busier now for sure.
Sure. And it's going to get busier.
Yeah.
It's going to keep getting busier. Unfortunately. I mean, fortunately and
you know.
unfortunately.
We need people
Where's
to
the
come here.
place in the world that it's not?
That's true. Good
Oh,
point.
I know that.
Yeah. Especially if you've got awesome resources and landscape.
Oh, there's no drawbridge that we get to pull up, but
Right.
you know,
Well, we
folks
can
are
manage
already
it,
here.
right?
Yeah, you get to manage
let's
it. You get
manage
to sort
it.
of craft
Yeah.
the direction the community.
Well, you've got these old school people from Montrose. You know the ones who pronounce it Montrose.
He's making enemies already. Here we go.
No. But they're the ones who want to pull the drawbridge up.
Yeah.
Not only is there not a drawbridge, stop complaining there's no drawbridge. Have a say in how this is managed, and then, you know, that's as good as it's going to get.
Change is inevitable.
Yes.
You either participate in the change or
Right.
you're affected by it.
Right.
You know, one of the two.
And another thing,
sage.
I mean, bring it back to mountain biking. More people on the trails, that means you have more people that want to volunteer for the trails, more people that would want to become members of their local trail organization, like us, like Mutt.
All right, so let's talk about volunteers, though. Is that true? Have you seen an uptick in the number of people who want to come and help with trail maintenance?
Our numbers were very high when we were building out Electric Hills.
Yeah.
Numbers have probably maybe slowed down a little the past couple years, which is kind of an industry-wide trend. I think everything boomed after COVID, right?
Yeah.
Bars got busy, restaurants got busy, everybody wanted to go out and do things. I think things have maybe returned to a normal a little. But it's also, I mean,
You can always have more people though, right?
Yes.
So when is the first trail maintenance day? Do you have that?
So yeah, we have 2 on the calendar for this spring, April 23rd and May 8th. Those are weeknights at Electric Hills.
All right.
And info is on our website or on our Facebook,
Which is
COPMOBA.org. And then if you search Montrose,
You're looking at me like you want me to do something.
I want
like,
you to come out.
You want me to put it on the screen real quick?
I want you to come out and do some trail maintenance.
Oh, I will do that. Yeah.
Come on out.
yeah.
He's looking for another like fat guy on a trail moment that he's trying to make happen.
How dare you?
Yeah,
suggest
it's okay.
that?
But I'm happy to volunteer and come out.
I mean, the trend we see as an organization is that people are really jazzed on coming out to help and volunteer when we're building new trail systems. Everybody wants new trail in their backyard, right?
But then they don't want to maintain it.
Maintaining it, that's where numbers start to fall off usually a little bit. I mean, we have a pretty dedicated group of people who are committed to maintaining the trails that we already have, but we want to see more of that. Not only do we want to see more of it, but folks like the BLM and the city of Montrose and our other community partners who are instrumental in allowing us to build these trails and partnering with us when we build them, they want to see that we can maintain what we already have. So if we want to see more trails, come on out to your maintenance night.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of other events and stuff that you guys have, Stoke Night is, I guess that's the annual event for the organization, right? Well, MUT.
Yeah, so it's kind of our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's kind of that's our season kickoff really for Electric Hills opening. So this year it's April 10th, 6 p.m. at Pomona Brewing. There'll be some combination of raffle, silent auction, really good prizes. I'm sure you've been the last couple of years. It's pretty good raffle.
You gave a bike frame last year.
That's right, yeah.
There will also be a Banshee Bikes hardtail frame again this year, donated by Banshee Bikes and Barn Owl Bikes, one of the local shops in town.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great event.
Why is it called Stoke Night?
Because you get stoked for the season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's an old guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the
I
lingo.
don't get it.
He doesn't know lingo.
No, I did. I get it,
No, you
Rob.
did.
Yeah.
For sure.
Just helping out. It was helping out over here. Are we going to talk about what Nick does?
Let's do. Yeah, we could talk about that because the idea is we talk about
Because they kind of go hand in hand.
well, kind of, yeah.
I feel like that's got to be a whole nother podcast.
Oh, it is for
We
sure.
should have
Yeah.
one.
Let's give. I mean, a little lead in though. Nick, you work in land.
Wait, so then Nick, you just
works in
came as like
conservation.
emotional support for Tyler, or
Nick
what?
is
Pretty much. No, we're both.
No, Nick. No, they're both part of the
So I-
organization.
So yeah, I mentioned I'm the chair of MUT. Nick is also on the MUT committee, and then we both also serve on the COPMOBA board, so the whole board for the umbrella of the organization.
Yeah, I mean it's important. This is important stuff.
I know it's important stuff.
All right. Well, you didn't know. You didn't understand why Nick was even here.
I didn't know that Nick was on a committee.
Do some research, man.
Yeah, gotta do
That's
some
the
good
pot calling the kettle
You
black. I'll
should
tell you
talk
that right
about
now.
what you do, and then we'll talk about why. Why do you need a trail organization? Why do you need land conservation? They go hand in hand.
Are you
Because
suddenly running this thing? All right, you
We
go
don't
job
just-
yourself. What are we talking about next?
Yeah. Get him a monitor.
Yeah.
Tyler just became the producer of the show.
Yeah.
He basically said this is what's up.
You could have done this in your basement if it was just going to be you, just asking the questions and then answering them yourself.
Hillary
No,
could
what
have
would you
been
like to talk about next, Tyler?
well,
No,
I
come
just
on.
said
All right,
what
I'll break the ice. So I work for an organization called Colorado West Land Trust. I primarily work on projects that protect land for a variety of different reasons. The primary ones being for agriculture, so that we conserve the land that gives us food and fiber. So that we can protect land for open space. We all live in Montrose because of the beautiful surrounding scenery, for wildlife habitat. And I primarily work on private land. We're not talking about, public land, BLM, Forest Service land. I work on land that's private, and I work with people who own that private landowners, to ensure that it stays in roughly the same state that it's in right now.
So I think, and that what's important though is that I think that crosses the political divide, right? The idea that we live in this beautiful place, and no matter who you support or where you lean politically, we kind of all want it to largely stay that way. So I think the Colorado West Land Trust does a very important job, because I don't want to see high rises. I don't want to see the landscape that we have around here changed just by putting crappy accommodation up. So I think the Land Trust does a really important job. And like
Huge
you said, it goes very much hand in hand, right? With this is where we live and this is why we want to live here. because we'd move if this wasn't like this in 5 or 10 years. If it doesn't look like this, or we don't have trails anymore, we'll go somewhere else.
Yep, we're all here because of the natural amenities.
I mean, where I grew up, there is no public land. I mean, there's city parks, state parks,
Right.
and then I moved to Gunnison County, which is 80-something% public land. It's one of the higher ratios anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, my mind was blown that there's just land that you go recreate on. I
Right.
mean, it's now
And that's
where
a
I
huge.
spend all my free time
Right,
virtually.
right. Well,
That's a
how-
huge pitch of the university too. That they talk about that. The fact that the outdoors activities that you can do, like you said, there was, or maybe this was Curtis earlier. That was talking about like recreational management as part of a career.
Well,
And
that's what
thinking
he
about-
studied, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very fortunate for the work that both of you guys do. Whether some of us take advantage of it or not, I'm very
Now
appreciative that it's
now
there.
For some reason, just popped back in my head. You
Oh,
in
yeah.
Lycra now on a bike.
I've never
Genuinely
worn
terrifying.
Lycra.
Hey, you know what?
Period.
There's one event we haven't mentioned yet. We are hosting our first race at Electric Hills on May 17th, and maybe that would be a great time for you to put some Lycra on.
There's no scenario where I'm wearing Lycra. Period.
Not even for charity. What is
Okay.
some-
Well,
what-
yes, I would do it for charity.
Okay.
Well, this will
How
be
much?
charity. It'll be helping raise funds to further the organization.
How much?
Goals.
How much? What?
I mean, how much money do we have to raise to see you in Lycra on a bike? Because I can get that
On a
money.
mountain bike?
Honestly, anything.
Do you ride a mountain bike at all?
I mean, yeah.
Is that- okay.
I mean, I had a hardtail,
It's a fact.
so I don't do drops. I
You
don't
said
do.
had. You
Yeah.
still have.
Well, I still have it. Yeah.
It's a fat tire
Yeah.
bike.
I would ride it.
It's a tricycle.
I don't have a fat tire back. Anyway, so yes, I've ridden most of the trails that we're talking about.
Okay.
Speaking of, what are your favorite trails at Electric Hills? And I bring this up for a very specific reason that he knows. But what's your
You go
favorite?
first.
Just
I'm
one of you
playing.
say
I'm
it.
playing right into what you're
Just
asking
one
because
of
it
you
is
say
truly
it.
my favorite trail at Electric Hills, Homeward Bound.
Wow, that's such an interesting name. Clever too, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't tell me.
Yeah.
Did he really?
It's unfortunate.
We'll just skip. We
I
skip.
almost can't
What's your
contain
favorite trail?
myself right now.
What's your favorite trail?
My favorite trail is Amperage.
Amperage.
That's an okay name.
Would you like to know who
okay.
came up with that name?
Yes,
I know
please.
you
Well,
probably-
you already poo-pooed it. So
I'll tell
Did you come
something
up with
now.
it? That's great.
Homeward Bound is not the best name, and I was kind of annoyed. I think Flux Capacitor is the best name. And
Is that one of the trail names?
Yeah, I met the guy. You know what that's from, right? That reference. Come on.
It was some guy named Michael J. Fox, and it was
All right.
he was Marty McFly, I think. Is that enough references to know?
But here's the thing. This was at Stoke Night. However many years ago it was, you had this opportunity to name the trails and put them all in a bucket, and the best ones came out. Yeah, Homeward Bound. It's pretty
So
cool.
that was actually one of my favorite volunteer engagement things that we've done is we did, it was like a board with sticky notes.
Yeah.
And we did, if you volunteered to help build Electric Hills, give us names. And we got a great list of names. I think there are definitely more names there that came out of that night. I just don't remember them all off the top of my head.
Yeah, and it's great. That trail system is great.
So if you do know other names that came out of that night, make sure you leave them in a comment or call us, text us at 970-316-3162. We'd love to hear from you.
You say that every time. Nobody ever calls.
No,
or
they
texts us.
listen, they do. They do.
They definitely do.
They do.
And I'm glad because I don't want to talk to
We'll
anybody.
work them in
Please,
when we do the Electric
please
Hills
do
expansion.
it.
Yeah.
Please do it because I want somebody else that had a better name that we can say that they came up with.
Amperage.
Amperage. There we go.
What about Stoke Night? I mean, can people still donate things for the auction? Can people? How can people contribute and get involved?
Go for it. It's your baby.
So the easiest way to get in touch with us is you can email us at mut@copmoba.org. And any businesses interested in donating raffle prizes, or we've had photography from local artists, anything you might be interested in donating.
What about a load of gravel? And I say that in all seriousness because another nonprofit we spoke to, they also have an auction, and some of the best items that they've had are like a truck full of gravel and topsoil and things like that. Because we have a lot of that around here, and it actually is useful.
It absolutely does not have to be mountain bike related.
Right. That's it. That was it. That was the Stoke
You're
Night
done.
promo.
That was the big.
Yeah.
That was your big contribution.
And people can show up though, right? Do you have to have tickets for Stoke Night? You just show
Nope,
up.
it's free to enter. Like I mentioned, it's at Pomona Brewing.
Right. And they'll be outside too, like last time, right? There'll be a tent, and so there's kind of
Assuming the weather's
almost,
good, which the weather's always good in Montrose in April.
almost a limitless number of people can show up.
Yes.
Half the town, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
And I would also just plug Pomona once again. They've been a very generous supporter the last few years of, of what we do.
2 years they've been open.
we happen to like them. They're friends of the show.
It was just their 2 year
running low.
Just their 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
service.
What
How
happened?
friendly are they?
I'm hoarding it over here. But they've been around 2 years,
Start
and they've
pouring
done
now.
they've done a lot for the community. They sponsor events. They give us beer for this idiotic stuff that we do. It's great. I love them. Kevin and Chelsea are just wonderful people.
They are the best. All right, so we're at the point of the episode where we usually ask, like, is there something that you want to share about Montrose that you like, that you don't like? Is there somebody you want to challenge to come be next in the seat on the really nice couch? We kind of leave it up to you at that point, which is Tyler wanted to take control of the show, so I feel like he's got to answer all of them now, right?
I was going to say Nick should go first.
You got it.
You got to go first. Nick's here just for
I'm just
emotional
Emotional support animal, yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
Dennis,
We gotta get you a vest or something like that. No, all right. In all fairness, Nick was actually on one of our first podcasts.
Yeah.
He was like on the second episode.
Before we
I'm
did
an
this.
OG.
You're an OG.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did
Nick
Google
was a
Google
guinea pig.
Trendcast. He was a guinea
He
pig.
was a guinea pig, and you did. It was great. I thought it was great fun, actually.
I honestly don't remember it.
Yeah.
He
it was-
didn't remember it. We had to like look it up.
Yeah.
We
But it
couldn't
was
remember his topic.
Do you remember what we talked about?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Nonsense, probably. But then that's how we decided that we're going to do another podcast, and the subject would be other people's nonsense.
There we go.
But yeah, Google Trendcast. This should come back. It was good fun.
Well, I was saying you should do like a Montrose WKRP specific version of it where it's like a 5-minute hot topic, like short.
We could do lives, 5-minute lives.
Is that what they're called? Is that the lingo?
Where we stream it live, where it's actual live, so people can interact with it.
It'd be cool.
It would be cool. Rob would hate it, and that's why I would love it.
And they won't interact.
They will.
People
Oh,
don't
Well, you
do
just
Trust
told
me,
me that you don't edit these at all anyway.
we don't
so-
edit these. Yeah,
It's far too much work.
I think Rob underestimates the fact that he's got a large group of friends, but he probably has an equally large group of people that would love to just,
it's the-
harass him
it's the-
online.
Is that a Venn
I was
diagram
going to
to
say that's
both?
a circle.
There's some intersecting.
I didn't intersect. I was going to say I think it's the same group of people, and I don't care.
Well, all right. So give us something. Either one of your favorite things about Montrose,
Well, do
something
that,
you wish
do
would
that.
change.
Do all of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll probably need the list again.
apart from mountain biking or skiing,
Yeah.
what else do you do apart from drinking? Because we can often be found at Pomona. But what else? What else do you do? What else do we have?
Well, you pretty much covered what I spend most of my time doing.
I know. That's why I wanted this to be
So
difficult.
that would biking,
I mean-
drinking,
Skiing.
skiing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to work.
All right.
No, I mean, just all of the access to the outdoors. I mean, like that River Bottom Park corridor, which we're hoping to build more trails there in the future too. There's some there now, but we're hoping to do a lot more there. But I mean, like all the amenities there, the Whitewater Park, the dog park.
I love the trails there actually, like the run club, Thursday night,
Yeah.
Montrose Surf and Cycle Run Club. They're fun on a bike too.
Yeah,
just
let's
for a
plug that
little.
real quick. Run Club
Yep.
at Montrose Surf and Cycle,
Yep.
6:15 p.m.
Yep.
every Thursday.
It's great, and there's a run club at Pomona on Mondays
That's how
too.
I met Rob.
Yeah, that's how people meet in
You
this
could
town.
meet your idol.
You can.
I love it. Nick is technically
Nick-
young enough to be my son.
And, you know,
In the future,
terrifying.
we're gonna have like show notes, that things that you can't say when you come on the show.
I think
Kidding,
I'll bring it
never
back.
meet your
I
idols.
think never meet your heroes.
You're always
It's
disappointed.
No,
Yeah.
back to the whole
Incredible
thing.
letdown.
It's kind of, I feel like the community thing, it's one circle overlapping, but it is most of my friends that I know through the outdoors, but just the community of people here. I mean, like I said, I went from knowing nobody to knowing all these people. One memorable event was it was a birthday party for a local podcast host, and everybody was instructed.
Is he a good podcast host? It's debatable. All right.
We'll see how this turns out.
He very much so is.
But we were all instructed there was a surprise party, and we were all to dress up as him.
Oh no!
They did too.
Oh, that had
We've
to
got
be.
to find some pictures.
Yeah,
of that,
where's the photographic evidence of that?
It was honestly, it was very touching.
Yeah.
And it really is a testament to the community in Montrose, but my community, our community, the friends that we have. It's a special place and a special time, and it won't last forever, probably, right? People will come and go. It's an incredible, it really is a special kind of time to be in this place.
You get tongue tied when you are genuinely emotionally when you're emotionally.
It was
touched.
very touching.
Yeah.
And I was genuinely surprised, and I don't like that stuff normally.
We couldn't have scripted that, so what I was planning to paraphrase and butcher is exactly what you just said. Is at some point in the night you pulled me aside and we basically had that conversation.
I don't remember that.
Some podcast
he was
hosts.
never
Sorry, not you.
Probably drunk at that point, but
I will say, prior to that party, you know the classic red soccer shirt, football shirt that you wear. So everybody was playing
Again,
off that.
list of things that you can't come on the show and say.
Stop interrupting the nice man.
That was what everybody was planning to wear for this party, because that's our mental image of Rob.
Right. It's basically Ted Lasso.
Yeah, and I was asked by one of our close friends to help them break into your house.
Yes, it was Amanda,
Okay.
obviously.
I wasn't sure if you were aware of this.
No,
or
I was
not.
aware because she kept saying stuff to me like, "Can I come over and see your cat?" And I was like, "What is she up to?" Something was up, and she wouldn't relent on this thing either. Yes,
Okay.
Amanda, you maniac.
So you kind of knew it was up. You kind of knew it was coming?
No. It was only afterwards
Oh,
that I
that you-
realized what
you
that
put-
maniac was doing.
You put the pieces together.
I did.
So you're a little slow on that. That's all right.
Anyway, enough about me.
All right. So the River Bottom Park, great
Brilliant.
list. You got anything to add to that?
I mean, I would reiterate what they said about community, not to be a sap as well, but I moved here as a kid straight out of college, at the ripe age of 21 years
And
old.
you've blossomed into
and
a man.
I'm so old and wise now, clearly.
What are you, 23?
Yeah, 24.
How dare you?
But no, I mean, Montrose was an interesting place to move straight out of college. I mean, it's not a college town. Sure, we have, the satellite CMU campus, but there are not a lot of people my age. A lot of folks who are from Montrose move away for a little while.
Very much so.
And they return, when they're elderly, like you guys.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
Sorry. Had to.
No, but it's true. This is not the town, the kind of place I would have moved to.
No,
when I was
in the
out of
first
college.
2-3 weeks I was here, I was like, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? What do I do? And then, not to toot Rob's horn, but I think you were one of the first people I met
Toot.
who kind of
Tyler.
tied me into the bigger community.
But this is how we do it, right? That's how we build community. And I know you guys do it too. We are very welcoming
Yes.
in Montrose generally, but
Yep.
me and my friend circle, you too, very much a family man, but a community man, introducing people.
Want more people here.
Yes.
And want people to stay here.
It's a welcoming place, and I think it's only becoming more so.
Yeah. We're lucky. We're very lucky for where we live. Absolutely. All
Amen
right.
to that. Let's hope ice don't scoop me up sometime soon.
Can we hold on a second?
I said I wasn't going to get
Was
further.
it was it Amanda? Was it Amanda? Is that what we
yeah.
said? Who it was?
Yeah.
Amanda. If you can
call
organize.
her Dr. Sigelski. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Sigelski. Dr. Sigelski, if you're listening, hey, if we can, organize something to have somebody picked up, if you know what I mean.
We're going to edit this out for sure.
No, definitely.
I can't take this kind of risk.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming and sitting on the couch. We appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to? Do you want to challenge anybody else in the group
Who should we get on?
to come sit on the couch?
Hollis finally made it.
He did make it.
His episode will come out next week.
That was going to be my answer.
What did he talk about?
He was great.
Oh,
We talked
God,
about
what do you
everything.
think he talked about? Bloody Moab.
Don't act like he droned on about it. You kept asking him questions.
It's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah, it's impressive. No, I don't. This is not about him.
Yeah, he had his episode. He had his moment.
What about Dan Ruffner?
Oh, Dan would be good. What would he
Could
talk
he
about?
sit still
What
for
would-
that
What
long?
would he talk about?
I don't know.
What wouldn't he talk about?
He talk about cult fit.
Colt fit,
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Hollis was going to be my challenge. So
Yeah,
now
no,
I'm racking
call
my
somebody
brain.
else out. Who
Yeah,
can we
I mean-
get on? Brett would be good.
Brett would be good.
Jarek and Amanda.
Yeah.
We'll call all of them out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys have done a great job of interviewing people who are shaping Montrose as it stands today. But I'd like to see some folks who
Who do you not know? Who you know of in the community that you don't know that you'd like to know more about?
Oh, that's a good question. Have you had Michelle Wingfield on yet?
Oh, no. But Bill Bell himself called her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Michelle would be awesome.
Michelle and John should come on. I ran into John yesterday. So that's a good one. We should get them on because they are truly doing work to shape the community too in terms of events and things like that. They're doing a great job, both of them.
Do you know about the Delta Philharmonic?
No.
No? We tried to get them on.
I don't know what he's talking about.
The Barbershop Quartet. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, barbershop quartets and the
Philharmonic.
Philharmonic.
Yeah, they're
thing.
the same thing. Same.
The fact that you pronounce it Philharmonic is
Yeah.
annoying to me too.
I know. It's because I'm a Philistine.
Wrap this up.
All right.
I mean, I'm being a little self-serving here.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Not COPMOBA, Colorado West Land Trust, but I'd love to see a farmer or rancher come on the podcast.
Can you,
Oh.
if you connect us,
I will give you
we
some
would.
names.
I would love to.
Yep.
I mean, we hinted at it earlier, but Nick could have his own podcast
Yeah,
without
I mean,
me here.
We've talked about
dumbing
some
him
stuff.
down.
You have some really interesting stories, and we probably should talk about the land trust. Maybe we can get you and Robert,
Yeah.
or somebody to come on. But connect us with some farmers, and
Or come back
ranchers
on
in
and
the
bring
area.
one. Bring one with you.
Sounds good.
We'd
That'd
love
be
to
a
do
great.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want that perspective too, for sure, because this community is as much ag, probably more than it is outdoor recreation.
Yeah.
It's a very important component in what makes Montrose what it is. Because I don't want to live on the Front Range, which is what this place would feel like if we didn't have the ranching community, right?
Yeah.
I
The
want to sit next to guys at Pomona that have just come off a working ranch, and we do, and I love that.
Yeah, we had that great conversation with what was his name? I won't out him on the podcast.
Yeah, no,
but
I remember.
Yeah.
Great, really good.
Yeah.
Really good fun, really interesting.
Yeah. The one other I would throw out is Mary from the Rec District.
Yep, absolutely. We'll get Mary on too. She
would be great.
She's a biker.
Yeah.
We'll talk about bikers.
She's a handful, too.
Yep.
She'd be good.
Oh yeah.
She'd keep you in line.
I don't know
right.
if he would do it, but do you know Bill Harris?
Yeah. Bill. I mean, Bill's one of the OG
So-
trail guys, right?
Bill was a founding member of COPMOBA in 1989. He wrote a book called, what is it called? Mountain Biking the
I
Uncompahgre
think
Plateau.
several books.
Yeah. Well, his first book came out in, I believe, 1988, 89, right in there. And he is basically the reason the Tabawatch Trail, which runs from the Plateau all the way to Grand Junction, exists because of Bill.
That's the trail.
And
we
the
talked about
Cocopelli
that
Trail.
time, right?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really touch on the history of COPMOBA at all, but COPMOBA has a pretty rich history as a group advocating for single track on the western slope, but also in the country as a whole. And Bill Harris is one of the founding members of COPMOBA. He founded COPMOBA actually not focused on, sort of community single track, but actually single track that links communities. And so he had, he was looking at the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail, and it's saying, why does this not exist for bicycles? And so COPMOBA actually was founded on the idea that a trail would be created from Aspen to the Grand Canyon. And that never materialized. They sort of realized that was a rather lofty goal. And so they set their sights a little narrower, but still pretty ambitious, of creating the Cocopelli Trail, which runs from Grand Junction to Moab. And they completed that in an era when they didn't have the same federal land use regulations that we have today that make trail building perhaps more sustainable, but also more complex. And they completed the Cocopelli Trail, which is, I believe, 138 miles from Moab to Junction in a year. And that was the beginning of COPMOBA. They went on to create another trail, the Tabawatch Trail, that ran between Grand Junction and Montrose, and then a third trail that ran from Montrose to Moab through the west end of Montrose County in the LaSalle Mountains. And that created the Grand Loop, which has recently been revived as a bike packing race. It was actually one of the first bike packing races, and sort of contributed to the rich pedigree that we have in that world now. So there's a lot of history behind COPMOBA that we've not eliminated, but Bill should really come on and tell you more about it, because Western Colorado is a leader in that.
All right.
I just learned something. I knew that the Cocopelli was part of the logo, but I didn't know why. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's get Bill on.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right.
All right.
Do it.
Do what?
I said wrap it up 10 minutes ago.
Did you say that?
Let's wrap it up.
I wasn't paying attention.
Just kept
Neither were they.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. That's been another episode of WKRP in Montrose. Tyler, Nick, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you coming. And we'll see you soon.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for having us.